Well, it's like such a lost thought because they're saying, I'm so proud of living in this country when this country has an administration and the executive branch, the most powerful man in the country, is saying, verbally saying, and publicly saying that Mexicans are criminals, rapists, and murderers. And yet we still have these people who are like, oh, I wouldn't, why are you burning the flag? I'm just so grateful to be here. Why are you grateful?
Yeah.
They're literally trying to dehumanize you. Like, it's just ignorance. It's because you think you've been assimilated as an American.
Yeah.
You're not an American, bro. They don't see you as an American.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Julyssa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brandon. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And how y'all doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't mean to always go first. I feel like I always say that every episode. But Brandon, how do you feel?
I thought it was like a.
Oh, it's like part of the intro.
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
Like, I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good, guys. I'm officially not sick anymore. Thank God. I did the math. I was sick for about 12 days, which is about a third of the month. Yeah,
Wow.
not a good time. Not a good start of the year. It's been a crazy year, as you guys see behind me. We're very geeked, as you would say.
I wonder what percentage of our fans are sports fans. Probably not a lot, huh? We don't really.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
Angelinos are natural. Well, actually, I don't even know if our audience is mainly Angelinos.
Yeah.
We're international. Remember, we had some people from the Philippines listening.
We had somebody from like Sweden, right?
Yeah. Shout out to you if you're listening.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I remember. Yeah, we did get a comment from somebody like in Europe.
Shout out from Sweden.
Yeah. Shout out
That's
to
funny.
Mexicans all over the world. And you know what? Even if you're not Mexican, shout out to you
Yeah.
if you're listening. If you're a fan.
Yeah.
Um,
a lot of stuff happening. The Los Angeles Lakers got Luka Doncic. That's pretty cool, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Pretty geeked about that. He plays on Saturday at the time of this recording.
At
So,
the time of this recording.
By the time
yeah.
this comes out, he will have played already, and we'll see if we got fleeced or not.
But everybody lost their minds because they traded Luka.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. It still doesn't make sense, actually.
Where were you when you heard the news?
Me and Brandon were actually together when
With,
the news dropped.
With Patrick, we were at Denny's.
Yeah, we were at Denny's, and it was pretty funny because we scared the restaurant because, well, we had just been watching WWE's Royal Rumble. Not to be a nerd, but I had obviously had some shots in me, so I was a little intoxicated.
Yeah.
So when I saw the news, our good friend Izzy, who's been on the podcast, dropped a wash bomb in our group chat. I was literally eating. We were all three of us were feasting, and then I saw the notification pop up on my watch, and it said, "Luka traded to the Lakers. What the fuck?" And I immediately just gasped and been like, "No fucking way!" And then Brandon and Patrick were like, "Wait, what?" And they were sitting on the opposite side of me. I was sitting on the booth by myself, like on my side of the table. And then I was like, "Bro, check what Izzy just said in the group chat." And then Brandon was like, "No fucking way, is that real?" And then Patrick was like, "What? You're scaring me."
Yeah, Patrick got really scared.
Yeah.
He was like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, you're scaring me. What?
Yeah,
And then-
but I was
then-
reacting
yeah.
really loud. So then the waiter came and was like, "Are you guys good?
Everything
Yeah,
okay?
everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah," because the people around us were kind of staring at us because I did react pretty loud.
Yeah.
I was like, "No fucking," but in my opinion, it was
Valid.
actually a valid. It was almost
Yeah.
an understatement. I should have reacted even crazier.
I thought he didn't tell me, like, okay, first before I thought he was going to say, like, Elon Musk died or some shit. Like, I thought it was, like, major news.
I mean, it was major news.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
kitty.
Oh, look at the kitty. Hi, kitty.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And even funnier for the context of everybody listening and watching at home. For full context, our good friend Patrick is a Dallas Maverick fan, and most importantly, his favorite player is Luka. So when he was like, "You're scaring me," he should have been scared.
Yeah, he was pretty sad after.
He was. He still is. He said
was hurt.
he told me that even his mom asked him about it. That's how big it was that his mom heard the
Yeah.
news.
That's crazy.
That's
Cra-
funny.
Craziest trade I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Craziest trade in history.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys are sports fans, but
It's
Look-
very shocking news, basically.
it's especially if you're in Los Angeles. Like it's like if we just got traded fucking like Jordan, bro, or
It's
fucking.
like,
It's like if LeBron played for the Lakers.
now we got Shohei Ohtani and Luka. Now the Rams need somebody.
international
Now the Rams need
superstars.
somebody.
Mhm.
The Rams, yeah, it's true. What other teams? The Clippers. The Clippers need
No.
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 The Clippers need Jokic to come
They're
through.
not even in Los Angeles.
What if Giannis came to the Clippers?
Giannis? Why would he
Yeah.
go to the Clippers? Why
Because
would
he wants to
that?
go to the, he. Well, he
You
Holiday
said
can't, don't be
franchise.
disrespectful to Inglewood, bro.
Inglewood? I'm not disrespecting Inglewood. I'm disrespecting the Clippers. I hate the Clippers. Fuck the Clippers.
that's crazy, bro.
Clippers
But that's
suck.
how I found out
Yeah.
through my Clipper group chat.
Yeah.
Like my coworkers, every single person was like, "Did y'all see the trade?" And then that's how I found out. But it wasn't on the news yet. Like cause I was with my boyfriend, and usually he has ESPN.
Yeah.
Like it's always notifying him, and it didn't. Like I had asked him, I was like, "Bro, check ESPN, like just to confirm before I tell everybody else."
Yeah.
So I was trying to see if I could find anything, but I couldn't. It was just still like news articles or like rumors or whatever.
When I saw it on Shams, I knew it was over.
Yeah, that's called on Shams. The analytics are crazy. It says that his tweet has like 102 million views.
If Waj hadn't retired, I wonder if Waj would have broke it before.
Probably
Shams.
100%. 100%.
Fucking Waj,
He would've-
bro.
Izzy dropped that bomb on us, bro.
Yeah.
I literally scared the restaurant.
What?
'Cause I couldn't
Yeah,
fucking-
I thought he was gonna say like a tragedy happened. Well, it kind of did, but not for us.
Not like a for real tragedy.
Yeah.
Like a sports
Bro,
tragedy.
the funerals that are going on for him.
I
right
know.
now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where do they get? Dude, coffins cost like 20K, like minimum.
Yeah, where did they just find it? They probably exhumed the body and just stole the.
They just stole somebody's grave.
It's cheaper. It's probably cheaper to do that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's
Coffin-
100% cheaper.
coffins are like $100,000.
No, yeah, and I think a minimum. I swear it's like minimum. For sure a few thousand.
That's crazy. People who make coffins, like those people who sell them, they gotta go to jail.
You think so? You don't think it's expensive to make a coffin?
It's fucking wooden box. Like you see it one time, then it goes.
Let's
in the
see.
ground.
I'm gonna literally. Let's see. We have the world in our pocket. I'm gonna
There's-
look up coffin and see how much the cheapest coffin is.
There's no way it costs $100,000 to make, and then somebody will do at this and be like, "Wow, actually, you're not factoring in the cost that it takes for me to ship in, for me to take the
Look,
time."
the cheapest one I can see right now is $2,000.
That's still a lot. What happened to the old fashioned Western coffins?
Oh, look, there's an old fashioned Western conference, 60 inches, which is 5 feet, and that's too small.
Yeah.
But it's that one's $900. But look, it's the old fashioned like.
yeah. See, like that. What happened to those?
That's what you want to be buried in.
yeah, just
not
a
be
wooden
a
box.
burden.
Yeah,
Not be a burden.
not be a burden. just
But I'm
throw
sure
it in
your
there.
family loves you and wants you to get you a fancy one.
Yeah, but they know that I don't give a shit about that. So
What would you guys want to be? Do you guys want to be dressed nicely
I don't. I weirdly don't want to be seen. I don't want to like.
your
viewing.
closed casket?
Yeah, I don't want to
Really?
be. I don't want to
I'll
view.
be what is it? Cremated?
No, I don't want. You want to be cremated?
Do you want to be cremated?
That's cool.
Really? You know what's
Throw
crazy?
my ashes in a tree or something.
You know what's crazy? Like a pattern that I've noticed. I've noticed that women are often want to get more cremated than men do. I wonder why. I wonder what's the reasoning behind that.
Who knows?
Mother Nature.
Maybe women are
Fucking
more
hell.
connected to.
I would.
Mother
I
Nature.
would like to have like a nice big old like field. Put me out there like under a tree and forget about me.
I kind of want them to puppeteer my corpse.
They do that. In
That's
some
why.
places.
That's why. Have you seen where?
I'd probably throw up if I was there.
I'm not going to Steve's funeral.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not kidding.
They're puppeteering my fucking body. I'm hitting.
I would actually throw up.
Have you seen the one of that guy? I think he was an Atlanta rapper.
Yeah.
They like have him stand up
Yeah.
in like a tube,
yeah.
and he's like all fitted in his clothes, and they're
Yeah.
having a party. Like,
yeah.
nah, I couldn't. It would creep me out
Yeah.
so
I
much.
couldn't either.
I took
feel
an
like
edible.
because in college I took a class called Death and Dying, and one of our projects was to look at different cultures on how they kind of celebrate death or like how their funeral traditions are. And there are some who do that. Where I think there's like some pictures where you can see where they put him like on his like motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
Or, like he's just like standing there.
Yeah.
So some people do that. Like as
No,
those
it's
are,
for
like,
sure.
traditions
No,
and
that's
stuff.
cool. Yeah, I'm not dissing the culture, but
No, that's for sure. People who
couldn't
do that.
I couldn't do that.
I think you can have an opinion and
Yeah, for
without having
sure.
to.
I
feel disrespectful.
also wouldn't want to be embalmed. You know, they do embalmings.
Mhm.
What is it?
They
Embalming?
basically, it's like they like preserve you, kind of, right? They put like a fluid in you to make you like
Prettier.
Mhm.
kind of. Just put me in the ground, bro.
Do you want that closed casket?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like immediately, just put me in the ground already. Like I don't
Just
know.
bury you, like not
Yeah.
even a casket, just put you in the ground.
Like a nice wooden box. That's about it. Not like I'm gonna use it. I don't know.
Do you want a nice gravestone at least?
Yeah, but I'd rather have like a tree, like maybe a
I've
plaque on a
also-
tree.
I've also seen that they do like it is just a box, like a
Yeah.
wooden box, but the family and the friends like decorate the
Yeah, that'd be
the
cool.
box.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
like they paint like their own pictures on there. Or
I'd
whatever they
rather
want.
do that.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. I think the cheapest option is always cremation, though. I
Yeah.
think cremation is like super cheap. I think from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's also environmentally friendly, right?
I think
think.
so.
Yeah.
Is it all those fumes?
You know, the
from
Catholic Church for a while was against it.
cremation.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because in the Bible it says only God can turn you back to ashes. So if you do it, it's like blasphemy or some shit.
Is that accurate? I don't remember reading that in the Bible.
I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere where it's
Let's
like,
Oh, I don't know. Is any of it accurate?
Let's
You know what I mean?
let's pull up for sure.
but I
Well,
feel
let's
like there was that thing of like, you shouldn't like cremate your body or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think it wasn't until recently that the church was cool about it. Like this recent pope, what's his name? Francis.
Is it? No, I actually don't know. Pope
Francis. Yeah.
Pope Francis.
Yeah.
It says that some denominations are more opposed than others. The Bible doesn't explicitly forbid cremation, but some Christians believe it's a matter of personal choice. Explanation: the Catholic Church permits cremation, but only if it doesn't deny the resurrection of the body.
No, it's because it's not that it's explicitly says don't cremate. It's just in that verse, I think, where it's like ashes to ashes, you know,
Mhm.
or it says
Oh.
ashes to ashes, or it's like, oh, he's saying like only I can do that, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Christians believe in the resurrection of the dead, and some believe that God can raise the dead from ashes.
I feel like if God's real and he's all powerful, I don't think that's gonna
That's gonna
he's gonna be
sabotage
like,
his
God damn
plans.
it, like foiled again. I
Would
don't
you
know.
guys want your kids to carry you around if you had ashes?
No.
Because no.
Nah,
'Cause-
just dump me in the ground, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense for you because my girlfriend, she her and a lot of her siblings, they have her grandpa like in these like kind of like a necklace,
Yeah.
and they like all wear it. It's like a baseball because he was like a big baseball fan.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and I was like, that is cool, but it is kind of like I don't know if I'd want that personally for me.
Yeah. If you're gonna put me in ashes, I don't know, make me a tree.
Jay, would you want that? What if I wore you as a
Yeah,
ring?
I feel like that's, I guess, everybody's choice if they want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if I wore you as a ring. It'd be
Yeah.
a little morbid, but I'd be like,
I've seen one, I think in like New Zealand or some shit, one of those cool countries, whatever, where they have a casket made out of like fungus, like a mushroom that's supposed to like digest you, and like it turns you back into like the ground. That's cool.
I've even heard of some people they cremate the bodies and they eat it.
I can't, bro. I can't.
Your face, you literally.
I
Bro, what if it
can't.
was my final request and I'm like,
Nah.
Brandon, I want you to consume.
I feel
It doesn't
like-
have to be all of it.
I feel like he's sadistic.
Just
I remember there's also the thing where they cook the placenta. You wouldn't eat it?
No.
I heard
Your-
it's-
your
I
wife's
heard
placenta?
supposedly, I've heard. I'll fact check this just to make sure since we do have the internet. I've heard that not only is it extremely nutritious, it apparently if you season it really good, it tastes good.
Ugh.
Let me see.
God.
I'm gonna fact check this
God,
shit right now.
People are something else, bro.
Uh,
What's the science behind this though?
The placenta?
Like I believe you, it can be nutritious, right? But like I feel like when I hear people talk about it, it's like, oh my god, like
Because isn't it the part that feeds the baby all the nutrition? So all the nutritions are like stuffed
Oh.
in there.
It literally says there's no evidence that eating the placenta has health benefits, but people believe that eating the placenta can prevent postpartum depression, ease bleeding after delivery, promote a healthy hormone balance in the body, improve mood, energy, and milk supply, and provide more nutrients such as iron.
Can you do that though? Like, do you have to like pay the doctor? Like,
to
if
like give it to you?
well, because if you're like at home, like if you have a home birth,
Oh,
right? I can see
yeah.
you have it. But if
Yeah.
if you're at the hospital, do you have to tell the doctor like, yo, give me the
Yeah,
placenta?
yeah. I'm literally reading it right now. It says that it differs from state, but most hospitals don't let you take the placenta.
Oh,
They
It's a
consider
cons-
it bio waste and hazardous.
it's a conspiracy. It's a
Damn.
conspiracy.
It is starting to sound like a right wing, like they don't want you to eat
Hey,
the placenta.
I know I've seen people talk about the cord, right? That they want to save. I don't know. I'm not
Right.
gonna pretend like I know. it's like
We
when
have the
the
internet.
umbilical cord. What is it where the blood inside the umbilical cord is supposed to be super like blah, 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 you know?
Like you're supposed to drink it or
Not
what?
no, not drink it,
Ew.
but like save it or something. I don't
Drink
know.
it. You're a freak,
I
Julie.
don't
Use it as a
know.
straw or what?
Would
Umbilical.
would you cut the umbilical cord?
I would if my wife was like, please, but I would be like,
Well, cause they.
You're
Cause
supposed
they
to,
ask
no?
you.
Yeah.
They
They
ask
me
you.
if it's
Well, cause I don't think she can do it.
If
She's
it's-
on the
no,
bed.
Yeah,
no,
I
yeah,
think
for
my
sure.
dad, my dad. I think Valentin, my older brother. I think he cut the umbilical cord for his wife.
Would you do it?
if my wife asked, if she asked and she was like, I want you to do it, then I would do it. But if she was like, no, you can let the doctor, I'd be like, yeah, let the doctor do it. I'd be scared I'd fuck it up. Ugh, I don't know. I'm squeamish with like body and blood stuff.
I get you, bro. The doctor. Google doctor. That's how I know. That's how you know I consider
Yeah,
the Google the doctor.
The doctor says, what is it?
Google doesn't even. I typed umbilical cord and it just went to placenta. It's like
maybe
who
it's
the
just the
fuck would ever
placenta.
eat the fucking umbilical cord?
Ugh. I
Oh,
don't know,
look, why do some people eat their umbilical cords on Quora? I don't know of anyone doing so. Do you? All right. Well, there you go.
yeah, that's crazy.
But shout out to Luka. I hope you. I know you're sad, bro.
Shout
I get
out.
it.
Would
I
you?
get
Hope he
it.
sees this.
I know. I hope he sees this. You
Maybe
never
he'll be on
know.
the
What if
show.
we have him on the show?
He speaks Spanish.
He
Pretty
does
good
speak Spanish. He might get himself a Mexican woman. You never
Yeah,
know.
unless he's married already. I don't know.
Is he married? Oh,
have
he
no
may be
idea.
married
Maybe.
actually.
But would you
Damn.
have your husband? Would you my husband? Would you have
Cut
him cut
it?
it?
Yeah, if he wants to.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, if he wants to. No, I don't think
No,
doesn't
so.
hurt?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Do you like do you feel it? Like even if it doesn't hurt, do you feel it?
I don't think it's attached to me.
The umbilical cord?
Yeah, it's attached to the placenta, no?
Oh, is it?
It's like the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the baby, no? I don't know.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I mean, Julie's the woman. She would know, right?
You're
I
probably,
thought
you probably
that
know
was a
more than
science.
us.
I
You know
thought that
more
was
than
a
us.
science.
You would know more.
I
you
don't
probably know
know.
more than me.
Damn, we probably look so ignorant right now.
Hey, don't come to this show.
Hey,
for
we don't
that.
have kids.
I'm
so
not a doctor.
We don't have kids.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a woman. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any kids yet. You know.
Yeah, so
Not that I know of.
How would
it
you
makes
not
more
know?
sense. I know. It makes sense if we say
That's
that.
part of the joke.
Joke.
Oh.
God.
Julie's first joke.
Her yolk.
Her joke.
All right, now let's lock in.
Whatever.
What's the real?
Let's look in.
What's
Let's
the real?
What's the real? Well, we wanted to first get into the protest. Shout out to all the protests.
Yeah,
in-
shout out to all
in
the
Los-
protesting that's been going on.
It's actually all over the country, but for those of you who are more centered around LA,
Or Los Angeles
Oh.
based. Yeah.
so we see it more. There's been, I think, 3 days of back-to-back protests as of the recording of the show from Sunday to Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then I think Sunday was
Sunday was the protest in the Placenta, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Where they took over the freeway.
because I know Tuesday was for the students, and I know Day
Tues-
Without an Immigrant was on Monday.
Yeah.
And then also shout out to anybody who participated in Day Without an Immigrant. That
Yeah.
really cool. The mechanics did. I thought that was really
Yeah,
cool.
a lot of people participated.
Yeah, it was
that
really
really
cool.
I participated.
I felt like it was
You're not supposed-
actually emptier in the streets. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
chilling. You were not supposed to buy anything on that day either. Like
Mhm.
you're supposed to just chill at home, basically.
Yeah, to give
Yeah.
hit them where it hurts.
Yeah, their
The
monies.
money.
I
'Cause
heard
apparently that's all they
it,
care
a lot
about.
of that stuff has been working. Like Coca-Cola has been.
I heard they apologized.
Yeah, I heard they walked back because if you go to and
Wait,
a lot,
what?
Yeah.
Because you know how Coca-Cola, what did they do? Their DEI, they rolled it back, or they were pro-Trump.
They like met
Probably
up
both.
with Trump. They like
Yeah.
gave him like basically like like those PR boxes.
Yeah.
But I think he was actually with the person who owns
Well, because
Coca-Cola.
you know how he loves Diet Coke or whatever.
Mm.
Obviously, there's also another demographic that loves Coke, right? Who is against Trump? Mexicans love Coke.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And lately, a lot of people have been protesting Coke. So Coke walked back their Trump support, because in a lot of stores, if you go, people record, the Coke shelves are like full, and Pepsi and like Dr. Pepper are empty.
Wow, I was ahead of the curve. I've never liked Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I love Dr. Pepper. Hopefully they're okay.
Dr. Pepper's pretty good.
I love Dr. Pepper.
So they're not in the same.
Mm.
I
Like
don't think so.
really?
But Fanta and like is Coke,
I know like
Sprite.
of Sprite,
Fanta. No, Coca has a lot.
Dasani,
Yeah.
Smart Water. I heard Powerade.
They own Powerade?
No, they
They own
don't.
Powerade.
No, they
They
don't.
own Powerade.
No, they don't. I know.
Somebody said it. I don't know. Somebody said it on TikTok.
I'm telling you, watch
Yeah.
it.
I don't
No
know.
way.
I don't know. I was kind of hurt about that one.
Yeah,
No more
Oh.
blue Powerade.
that's crazy.
That can't be true.
They do.
It is.
Yeah.
That one hurt me the most.
Yeah.
I was like, no more.
You gotta drink.
You
It's
have to
like-
drink Gatorade now.
It's like finding out your fucking wife has secretly been fucking a CIA agent for like.
I didn't
20
know they own
years.
Powerade. That's crazy.
Yeah, they own Powerade.
Damn.
What else was there?
Gotta start drinking Pepsi.
You also can't support Nestle anymore because
Oh, yeah, fuck them.
they're like what was it that
I don't know
they're-
about anymore.
They-
They didn't the dude say like water was
They're-
not a human right?
Oh yeah, that he's
Years
trying-
ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
they
like
own- they
10
own
years
a lot
ago
of
now.
Shit, though. They own a lot
Yeah.
of shit.
That's
Yeah.
the one thing that is hard about, I guess, the protest is that for the really big companies like the Coca-Colas, like they
Yeah.
own fucking everything.
I think at first it's difficult, but after
Yeah.
you start to learn, it gets pretty easy actually.
yeah, I
'Cause
get
then
you.
my brain like quickly starts to be like, oh yeah, fuck them, right? They hate us.
yeah.
McDonald's hates.
But McDonald's has always been a problem.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
McDonald's.
No, but I think for like the average person, they think like, oh, I just won't get Coca-Cola, and then they get Sprite.
Yeah.
They don't know like, well, it's
Yeah.
all. Because I
It's
mean,
all owned.
Coca-Cola owns so much. I didn't even know they had fucking
Well,
Powerade.
do they own High C?
I don't know.
No.
I hope
Let me.
not.
I guess, like I said, I have the whole. I know.
The only reason I say that is because I feel like whenever they're like together, like
Yeah.
you know how in like
Oh, like a
Chick-fil-A,
collab, yeah.
when in Chick-fil-A they have Coke and all that, they have Powerade in there. So I'm like McDonald's.
own High C?
McDonald's.
They own High C. Well, actually, now that I think about it, the Coca-Cola machines that you
Have
see like a
that,
Wingstop,
yeah.
they're called Coca-Cola machines because they have.
That's
So
not like-
everything that's on there is Coke.
So is Dr Pepper really not owned?
No, that's the
Coca-Cola?
number one drink too. It
Look
replaced
it
Coke.
upstairs.
I gotta admit, double fact.
I hope to God I would cry. I love Dr. Pepper.
You gotta do
Yeah, no, you're right. No, Dr. Pepper is not owned by
Let's
Coca-Cola.
go. What about RC Cola? Do you guys like RC Cola?
Ew, I don't even like regular cola.
What is it?
RC Cola. You never heard of RC Cola?
It's like the alternative to like Coca-Cola.
It's like an old drink, but they're still around.
I like this. What was it called? There's this restaurant that me and my boyfriend went to, and they have like their own like it looks like a beer bottle. I don't know if you've seen it. When sometimes I'm drinking them, and I'm like, it's a soda, but mom's always like, oh, it's a beer. I think it's called like Swiss
the tea.
Cola or
Dr.
something
Pepper,
like
I'm telling you right
But-
now, don't you dare start supporting Trump, man. I'll crash out.
that. Dr. Pepper.
I will crash out. That's
Dr.
the-
Pepper's kind of good though.
I love Dr. Pepper.
I-
America loves Dr.
I will
Pepper.
admit, and Dr. Pepper is kind of good. I was a hater at first, because I don't
Yeah.
really like dark soda like that. So, but you gave me the Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
That
shit
one's
was
pretty good.
bomb.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good.
Don't you
Shit.
dare
I-
switch up Dr. Pepper. I'm telling you.
I had one of those, like the
Yeah.
strawberry one, and
Yeah.
I put it in one of my cups so I could take it to work. And I tried drinking it like as if like it were like a regular drink
Yeah.
like that I have, and like plus my water. I'm like, I don't know how people can just drink soda like every day.
yeah.
That shit started hurting my stomach. I was like,
I
Yeah.
literally
I-
feel my teeth dissolving when I drink
You
too much
guys
soda.
gotta try Diet Dr. Pepper.
Diet Dr.
That
Pepper.
shit is so good. I don't.
Does it taste the same as a
To
Diet
me-
Coke?
to-
Does it make me want to slap my
Yeah.
mama?
To me, I'm literally like, how is this like? How is this? How did they make this?
How did they make
It's
this?
liquid gold.
Thousands
man.
of years of human evolution led to this.
Does it taste
It
like
tastes
a
like
Diet Coke?
Well, do you like Diet Coke? or
No,
you don't like
that
that.
shit was
Do you like Coke
nasty.
Zero? Coke Zero is good, but fuck Coke.
No.
Coke Zero and Diet Coke are different. To the real diet soda drinkers, they know them. They're probably like, oh, he knows ball. That's what
knows
they're
ball.
thinking
He
right
knows
now.
ball.
I like Diet Dr. Pepper. I think that shit's
Mm.
fire. But hey, that's just me. You know,
What does it have? Less sugar?
it's no calories and no sugar.
Uh,
So I don't like it's just water.
But
Basically.
how did they make this taste this way?
Yeah, it's basically water. Yeah.
That's cool.
I would
But
try it, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's like.
What
I don't know.
do you guys think of the protests about how people were criticizing our own people were criticizing us, saying why are we waving the Mexican flag?
Why are we waving it? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
you didn't see that?
I see
People-
people upset that they burned the flag.
I've
No.
been seeing people say that we shouldn't be waving, I guess, like the Mexico
I
flag.
guess we should
'Cause
be
it's
waving the
like-
American flag.
Yeah, that we should be waving the American flag because it's like we're trying to say that we belong here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why are we waving a quote unquote foreign flag?
Yeah.
Have you seen that
The American flag is a foreign flag.
bar? That's more.
The-
That's it. That's all we need to say.
Wave a Native American flag if you want to be like that.
Yeah, yeah, but if you haven't heard, or the audience hasn't heard, I've seen a good amount of discourse of it on TikTok where people are like, we should have a protest for Mexican Americans where we just wave the American flag. Like, why are we waving the Mexican flag? Which sounds so like like the assimilation is getting your ass. Like, because I think the Mexican flag, waving the Mexican flag is not only being proud of your roots, but I think it's beyond what it symbolizes physically. I think it symbolizes like your identity of like who you are in this country. Because I mean, the Americans see you as Mexican, so why wouldn't you see yourself as Mexican?
Yeah.
You know, and like just because people are like, why are you, if you're waving the Mexican flag, why don't you just go back to Mexico as if this wasn't already Mexico?
Well, I think it's also like I mean I get if people want to criticize like the state of Mexico, like the country or whatever, but they lose me immediately when they're like wave the American flag instead. Fuck the American flag, you know? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I completely agree with people not wanting to wave that flag, you know? It stands for colonialism, genocide, oppression of women and people of color. What like I don't know. I don't really get the mentality of like we're protesting America, but let's fuck, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds such like bootlicker to me.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's like a lot to it because they're like you're waving the flag where it was like your parents didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like they decided to move here, so why wave like that like other country like flags?
But I feel like that simplifies it too much, like being like your parents or whatever didn't want to be in Mexico. But at least from my experience, from what I've seen from people who immigrated here, a lot of them did want to stay in Mexico. They just couldn't stay in Mexico because they felt like the opportunity was just higher here, just economic wise. So I feel like being like they didn't want to stay there, that's not necessarily true. A lot of them did actually. It's just multi-layered where a lot of them had to move.
Yeah.
Were people actually saying like don't wave the Mexican
Yeah,
flag?
yeah,
That's
dude, it's
stupid.
everywhere.
I've
People have been
seen
saying that.
the people criticizing like that protest. I thought it was a very powerful protest, right? I think the people criticizing or nitpicking the protest were just looking for reasons to not support it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you're being a low key little bitch about it if you're saying if you're being like, oh, well, why didn't you? Why wasn't the protest like
Peaceful.
convenient?
Because
It was
Peaceful.
peaceful. It was a peaceful protest.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't-
Apparently, because I said, oh, sorry.
No.
You just said-
Go ahead.
apparently, so there's more protests going around, like the country, which are Mexican led. Apparently, there was a protest. I didn't know which protest it was, where people started doing takeovers, like
Yeah.
at the protest. Yeah, and then apparently some people stole like police cars or something. And I only heard about it because it was another TikTok of someone being like, "Oh, y'all making us look bad." I think that like whole idea of like, "Oh, y'all make us look bad," I think it's just internalized racism.
Yeah.
Like you're just saying like, "Oh, you know, because we just don't know how to behave ourselves. We're just so naturally rambunctious or whatever." Or y'all making us look bad, as if like there aren't grown adults who can't fucking think critically and know that obviously one person doing one thing, even a group of people doing this one thing, like taking over a car or doing a takeover, like that doesn't obviously mean that everybody else is gonna look that way. That's such an internalized racism thought because you think you're literally thinking one person and one person's action defines a whole group of people.
It's just weird because it's like, I feel like just hearing that statement where they're like, "You're making us look bad." I'm like you're any better? Like it's just like, what is it that you want us to be like civil about this when it's like they're not being civil about us? Like they're not like, how are we gonna get through to them if like we don't do all these different protests for people? You know?
No, for sure. I hate that line of "you're making us look bad" because, like you said, I think it's true that it's internalized racism. But you know who else is genuinely trying to make us look bad? The people in power. You know, like where's that energy when they have comedians like talking about how Puerto Rico's trash in the ocean?
Yeah.
Where's that energy when Trump is talking about how immigrants are rapists and murderers and they eat dogs? Where's that energy? Like when all that happens, that's making us look bad, no?
Yeah.
But
Like
when it's your own people,
but
like
when
it
it's your-
feels so easy. Like
when it's your own people who are fighting for their rights while you're at home complaining about or trying to nitpick everything, they're not making you look bad. I think that's making you look strong.
Yeah.
You know, that's making you look like you're the one making us look bad, in my opinion.
I feel like that's making us look like we're taking the authority here.
Yeah.
Like we're taking the route that we have to take so that we're heard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, especially like them, I guess, kind of burning the flag, which like everybody has their own opinion, right? Which is like mostly a lot of them that I feel like are coming out are the ones who are overly like trying to, what is it? Is it simulate? No, right? Assimilate to like living here.
Yeah.
But I feel like them doing that is a statement to them of like what their protest is and that they're serious about what they're fighting for. Like I feel like they didn't mean, or maybe they did mean like disrespect, but I think it's just like we've been disrespected this whole entire time.
Yeah.
Why is it that like they deserve to be respected when we've been disrespected for such a long time? Like how is that like even fair to be doing that, you know? And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like there is, you know, peaceful protest, but I think it's like they're not like killing people out here. Like they're just demanding that they should be heard and seen. Like that's all that they're doing.
Well, I'm also confused when people talk about the protest should be peaceful or shit like that. Because I'm like, what are you referencing? That's what I'm always saying. Like, what protest are you referencing? Or like, what are you trying to say? Protests are supposed to be inconvenient. They're supposed to be disruptive. That's what a protest is, you know? Like, I think people they buy into this propaganda that they hear about how like, oh, but back in the day, Martin Luther King, like he politely asked, and that's how we got equal rights. That's not what happened. Yeah. You know, people at the time, I think I've read 60% of Americans in the 60s hated Martin Luther King. They hated his marches. They hated those sit-ins where people would go into diners and sit there even if they were asked to leave. They hated when people like Rosa Parks would sit in the buses even when they would be asked to leave. Yeah. Remember they would spray people with with hoses and sick dogs on them. You know, so whenever people are referencing, I don't know what it is. I don't know what fantasy it is that they're referencing. I think they just want people to be complacent. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with, I think, a lot of Mexican Americans who are trying to poke holes in the protests. It's really just a way of rationalizing themselves not participating in anything politically driven. Yeah. You know, because obviously they're trying to poke holes in it. It's like, you see, that's why I didn't participate. I didn't participate because I'm not one of the bad ones. Like I can be assimilated. I can be a good boy. You know, it's really just like them trying to make themselves not feel as guilty for not being politically driven. I really think that like you hit the nail on the head of like, it's really just a group of people trying to poke holes in it, so that way it's like I feel so much better that I'm not participating in the protest. I feel so much better that I'm not sticking up for my own people, you know, because we're not even worth it, you know, like we can't even behave ourselves. It's such an internalized racism thought, because as if like what you said, that's such a good point of like, but the people in power, Trump himself, the administration who runs this country, is the ones who are actually painting us to look bad. Yeah. But yet, like, they're, nothing, right? Not a zip, not even on an Instagram story, not even in their fucking friends who are like secret Trump supporters. But if it's our own people, they feel so fucking easy to open up their mouth and fucking talk shit about our own people.
Yeah. I think it's true when they say that I don't think people generally wanted to join this protest or be a part of it. I think they kind of are just finding excuses, to like get out of it.
Also the flag. Just to be sure, they were burning the American flag, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't understand why anybody has a problem with that. If you believe the whole propaganda of, you know, America and freedom of speech, right? Then burning the flag is a sign of protest. Like it's a protest. Like there's a historical like precedent of burning a flag is a form of protest. Yeah. Which is freedom of speech. Which, you know, everybody on a certain side is always being like, oh, they're trying to take away freedom of speech. You know, it's like you said, you know, everybody's trying to, I don't know, like what do you want people to do then? Like what do you want people to do? Just politely ask?
I just feel like that's just very, very showing about how people generally just don't care about the movement. Yeah. Like they're just trying to find excuses to be like, this is wrong what you guys are doing. Like we shouldn't do that. Cause it's so like, cause yesterday cause I didn't understand what burnouts were. Cause people were saying like, oh, they're doing burnouts and they're burning the American flag. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So then I like searched it, right? And I searched out what like burnouts were. And a lot of people were saying that at least a lot of the, I guess, under the hashtag, it kept being like a lot of people who were Mexican American being like, oh, like you guys burning the flag is so disrespectful. Like I was so like with you guys, but after doing that, like I'm so against it because I feel like I'm not going to betray the country that like I was born in. And I just think that that's just like, I don't know. Like, I was just
Yeah.
like so mad about like that specific like video, because I'm like, how could you say that? Like, how could you say that about your own people? You know, it just made me see a lot of like hatred within themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
Self-hatred,
and I think
yeah.
that's and I think that's just sad, because it's like this is a time when we should all try to be united. You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like our own people still attacking us is like just very like disheartening.
Well, it's like such a lost thought, because they're saying, I'm so proud of living in this country, when this country has an administration and the executive branch, the most powerful man in the country, is saying, verbally saying, and publicly saying that Mexicans are criminals, rapists, and murderers. And yet we still have these people who are like, oh, I wouldn't, why are you burning the flag? I'm just so grateful to be here. Why are you grateful?
Yeah.
They're literally trying to dehumanize you. Like, it's just ignorance. It's because you think you've been assimilated as an American.
Yeah.
You're not an American, bro. They don't see you as an American.
Yeah.
Especially people who are not white passing. There's a lot of people who are like, I'm just so grateful for the life I have here. And I think it's cool to be like proud of like the life that, you know, you've nourished with your friends and your family. But like, understand that on a political level, you're not seen as the same as a white American.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're saying that you're proud of what this country has done for you, but it hasn't done anything for you. You're saying all the things that you equate that it gave you, it's actually giving to somebody else, and you're getting the lesser end of the spoon. You know, you're getting a smaller spoon, smaller portion. Like, you're not being seen as an equal, and you think that you are. Like, your identity is misplaced. And I mean, I always talk about it, about how a lot of Mexican Americans have an identity crisis like that in and of itself, that people are like, I was with you, but then I'm not. It's like, but what you're saying isn't even true. You realize that the American public doesn't see you as an American.
Yeah.
People are like, get upset about bringing the Mexican flags. That's because America sees you as Mexican, and you're showing your presence. You're showing that you're here and you're here to stay. It's like, it makes no sense to want to wave the American flag.
Yeah.
And even that, the whole like, oh, I would never burn the American flag. That's such American propaganda. As if like burning the American flag is this religious thing. Oh, like that's 100 years of bad luck.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like you're giving it to, there's no rules. There's like, I know like I guess in the White House or some shit, it's like, the flag can't even touch the ground. But like, why are you playing into these made up rules games? Like, nothing's going to actually happen by burning the American flag.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is so negative about burning the American flag? And like you said, like, no protest is perfect. In fact, protests aren't meant to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, there's no clean cut benchmark, trademark, like guideline of what a protest should be. It's like you said, they should be inconvenient. They're meant to be inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like, they're meant to
They're meant
cause
to
disrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I also, like I said, I think if people are saying, I was with the movement until they burned the flag, I don't believe you were ever with the movement.
Yeah.
I really believe that you were looking for any excuse to not be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I also don't understand why, like you said, people who are not white passing would say stuff like that, because I don't know where you got this idea that if you try to assimilate, if you say all the right things, if you vote for Trump, or if you're quiet, if you're quiet, and if you're with America, that they're gonna treat you like they're not gonna no matter what you do, they're not gonna treat you like a white person. No amount of anything they're gonna ever treat you like a white person. And you know, like there's that news story about that guy who voted for Trump and they deported his wife. Or even what
you talked about last week, the reparation, right?
The Mexican repatriation. Where last week, where I talked about how 60% of the people they deported were U.S. citizens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't care. They just care that you're not
different,
white,
bro.
that you look different. Not even that. The only people who can say they're genuinely American are the indigenous people, right? And they're still trying to deport those people.
Yeah,
they're still trying to deport these people. So any notion that, you know, I don't understand any notion or anything that people are trying to say when you should wave the American flag, you should be proud of it, you know. They're completely insane.
They're not just insane, they're just ignorant and uneducated. Like, you just don't know what you're talking about. Like, really take a step back to understand the full scope of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, everything that you're saying is so true. Like,
yeah.
and to really be like a Mexican American and be like, you just said it so well of how like you were never with the movement.
Yeah.
If that was enough, then you were never with it, and you were looking for any chance, any error of so you can be like, yes, thank God I'm not part of that movement.
I just feel like there's nothing right now, or has ever been, that you should be proud of to wave the American flag. At least as somebody whose group has always been attacked, whose community has always been hurt. Like I feel like a lot of people would waive it if they felt safe, you know, if they felt safe in this country to like do that. But I think, like how you said, like everything that right now that America, like the United States, is like showcasing, representing, that they're not for women's rights. They're not for, you know, the LGBTQ rights. Like they're not for the kids. Like there's nothing to be proud of about waving the American flag right now, because they're trying to take everybody out of here. And like, how is it safe to be doing that? You know, as somebody who's Mexican American, you know, like I feel like I want to be proud of my roots, because my roots are what, like, you know, raised me. And I feel like everybody has their right to do and like do all that, to like represent in these protests. Cause I feel like that's more powerful of like who's being represented, you know, like especially in Los Angeles. I think seeing the Mexican flag a lot is because there's a lot of Mexicans here in Los Angeles.
And there's history here.
Well, I also think when people wave the Mexican flag, it's because of, well, for one, heritage. And not even, it's also that he straight up just disrespects Mexico and the heritage and the lineage of Mexico. You know, they're sending their worst as if to imply that everybody in Mexico is just a criminal. You know, so I see it as it's proud of your heritage, and it's also like a display and a denial of what people are trying to say about Mexico, that it's this cesspool of criminals, this cesspool of rapists, that the people they send over deserve to be in areas like Guantanamo Bay in prison. Like the first plane just left to Guantanamo Bay, you know, at the time of this recording, at least, you know. I don't know, that the people talking about the flags and shit, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just ignorance, bro. It's ignorance and uneducation. Genuinely, if you know someone who's a Mexican American and genuinely believes that it's problematic to not only wave the Mexican flag, but like apparently left support because of the actions of a group of people, then you're practicing internalized racism. That's what it is. You're thinking that one person describes a whole group of people. And if you're afraid because somebody did something and you're like, this is gonna make us all look bad, who gives a fuck? That probably means that person's a racist. Who gives a fuck what they think? Because that's what it is. It's like, oh, you're making us look bad. For who sees a small group of people and thinks that they're all like that? Fucking racists do. So why the fuck would you care about what a racist thinks? Like, that's what the logic is. And that's why I don't understand. I can't believe that had like 1.5 million likes, bro. That it makes us look bad. To who? To the racists? Who cares? Literally, who cares? They wouldn't like us anyways. You could act clean cut, never break a law, be quiet, and they'd probably still be supportive of deporting you and your entire family.
I mean, that's what's been doing. Like, we've been doing like our taxes. We've been doing all this work. We've been in our own space, and every single time we're always under attack. Like, it's kind of like we've had enough. Like, and it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like, them saying that you're making us look bad. Every single person who says that you guys are making us look bad, I'm just like, in what sense? To who? Like, to you? Is it because you're embarrassed of us? Like, is that what you're trying to say? Like, I just feel like it's so, like, I don't know what the word is, but it's just so disrespectful, I think.
No, it is, dude.
To me, it gives such, like, you want to be white so bad.
Pick me's, bro.
Like, it's such like, you want to be so white. You swear doing this, they're going to think you're white. You're like, what do you think you're going to get brownie points for this? You think that they're going to be like, oh, finally someone gets it. You know, like I was saying earlier, there's people who are actually trying to make us look bad. Have you seen in the 50s? And I know this because, like I always say, my dad lived this. They used to have signs that would say, no dogs, no blacks, no Mexicans. You know? And the dog would be at the top. So that just goes to show you that they see you as subhuman. They see you as on the same level as a dog. And but again, so quiet when that happens. So quiet when there's people, like I said, like with that fucking comedian who was like, oh, that piece of trash in the ocean in Puerto Rico, you know, so quiet. Oh, can't you take a joke? Oh, he's just joking. So quiet whenever it's a white person who does it. So quiet because you want to look good for them, right? But the second, and to me, what's even worse is I don't even think what the immigrants in the Mexican community has been doing makes us look bad at all. I think it makes us look strong. If you think that makes us look bad, I think you're a little bitch, honestly.
Yeah.
Like how does that make us look bad? Why the fuck do you care what the white people think about us?
Yeah.
Like why do you care that how can you see protest? How can you see like advocating for your community and standing up for your rights? How can you see that as making people look bad? Like, do you want compliance? Does compliance look good to you? Like that looks bad. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't understand that.
No, yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
Educate your friends, bro, and stay in school. Stay in
Yeah.
school. Oh, now with this Department of Education getting
Yeah.
eliminated.
No, yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. But I stand with all the protests, and I think
Yeah.
everybody should.
Yeah.
Too.
I applaud
Definitely.
them for being brave.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. No,
Especially
yeah.
all the students. Because a lot of them, at least from the videos, majority of it looks like it's a lot of young people.
Yeah, the youth is the
So-
future, bro.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
I'm proud that they're coming out.
No,
and
for
doing all
sure.
this.
And I've also seen people talk about how like, well, why are they on the freeway? Like, what do they have to do with it? To me, what I think about is like the inconvenience you experience if like there's just traffic is nothing compared to the inconvenience and the atrocities that have happened to our community. Deporting 3 million people when 60% of them are citizens, separating families, keeping them in cages, wanting them to put them in Guantanamo Bay as a form of slavery, basically. You know, that's an inconvenience. You know, you
Yeah.
sitting through traffic, you're gonna be fucking fine. You're gonna live. I think you'll be fine.
It's
Yeah.
just so stupid,
Yeah.
bro. I really do think it's ignorance, uneducation, and lack of empathy,
yeah.
and for your own people, bro. And
Yeah.
that, like internalized racism on top of that, it's just all around just bad, bro. I can't see anybody make an argument for like oh, we shouldn't be doing this, and not being like, bro, you realize what you're saying, right? You're being all four of these things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
The youth is the future, though. I'm glad to see a lot of the youth. Shout out to a lot of
I'm
you
glad
guys.
they walked out. You know, I'm glad that the protests are taking place. You know, they're happening all around the world, which
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm happy
I wonder if there's gonna be any protests in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm thinking about right
about.
now.
I hope so.
There has to be. I can't
Because-
believe Trump's gonna attend, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
I can't
That
believe
is
he's gonna be
crazy.
there.
I can't believe that fucking dork. Travis, is it Travis or
Yeah,
Jason?
Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
It's giving when Adolf went to the Olympics.
Yeah, not even.
Damn.
Not
That's wild.
real. That's real.
That's
That-
wild.
Yeah,
It's
fuck.
giving that like
Yeah.
the. We're
I'm
gonna
just
look
more
at those
like
old
that's wild
footage.
because it is exactly that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder. I'm telling you. I wonder if Kendrick's gonna do anything.
I hope so.
I wonder if he's gonna do anything.
I hope so.
If he doesn't, he's probably gonna get some flack for it for sure.
I hope he does. I just feel like it's
What would he
there's
do?
there's just a lot of things that can stop at least his movement from happening
Yeah.
because it's like, you know, I forget where is it? It's in
I don't know. New Orleans, maybe.
No, I don't think it's New
I
Orleans.
don't.
It's Atlanta, no?
Let me see.
It's wherever Lil Wayne is from, because he was being
Where
a little
is
crybaby
Lil-
about it.
Wayne from.
They didn't get me. They got Kendrick, only the most famous rising trending star right
I
now,
know,
and
I
me
can-
who hasn't made like an album in fucking 10 years.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans? Oh,
Lil Wayne's from New Orleans.
yeah.
What the? Why did I think he was
Yeah,
New
from?
Orleans, Louisiana.
I hope Kendrick sings fuck,
Louisiana.
fuck Donald Trump.
I know that would be cool.
But I don't. The reason I'm like I don't think he can is. Did you see that I don't know. Suddenly the NFL decided they wanted to be all like for the people that were in the end zones. They'll put end
End
racism.
Racism.
But that Trump's going there. They're
That
gonna
they're
take
They got
that shit
rid of
off.
him. Yeah.
I saw that too.
But like, that's why I don't get Trump supporters. I'm
But-
like, you see this guy removing that he has to show up and they have to remove something so objective. It just says end racism. That's all it says.
That's like if
it doesn't say like kill all white people,
Yeah.
blame all white people.
This is no more
You know,
racism.
it just says no more racism. That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's right. Objectively.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
clearly aimed
it's
at me.
weird because
But no, Trump was like, take that shit off.
It's
Yeah.
weird because it also just feels very performative. Like them always having that on the side and like them
for
just
sure.
taking it off like it's nothing. I'm just like, so you guys. I mean, it's been obvious that they never really cared because like it's the white men's league.
Also, the way
The white man's
the way
league.
the NFL and the NFL community and the fans of the NFL reacted when Colin Kaepernick just took a knee.
yeah,
Just took a knee. All he
Mhm.
did was take a knee during the national anthem in protest and solidarity with how the black community has been treated by police and
Yeah.
in America. He just took a knee. That's it. Everybody went fucking insane. The NFL went crazy about that, right? But they'll let Trump in, whose right hand man is a guy who'll do the Nazi salute, and they're like, "Come on, get that guy in here, front row seats for that guy."
That guy is, and then Travis Kelce is honored that he's gonna
I'm
be
honored.
there.
We stand with him.
I'm honored. Like it's a privilege that the president is gonna come see
I hope
me
Philly wins, bro.
on my biggest game in my life.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts is like, no, ma'am.
yeah.
Is it a bigger pressure because the president will be there? No, ma'am.
No, man. No, man.
No man.
That was hard, bro. It's so tough how he said no.
Yeah.
You see those comments
of
that are always
LeBron?
like, yeah,
It's
so tough how he moved.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really hope the
I
the
hope
Chiefs
they
lose.
hurt him. No, I'm just kidding.
I really hope
Oh.
I really hope the
Good
Chiefs lose.
one.
Also, Taylor Swift, bro. I can't believe she's with that
Bitch.
guy. Ooh, I can't.
Damn.
I can't. I can't.
I hate her and her friends.
for sure. I can't understand how she's with somebody who supports Trump, who's very anti-woman.
Because she is probably racist, and she
And-
probably like
But
is
Trump
all for
actually,
that shit.
you know what's crazy is that Trump like actually said, "I hate Taylor Swift,"
I know.
or
That-
tweeted it. Whatever. If you want, tweeting is the same as fucking.
Would
I mean,
saying.
Taylor Swift loves being with disrespectful ass men. Like her boyfriends in the past have
That's
also
her
been
type?
disrespectful. Yeah, that's her
That's her
type.
type.
Her type
That's
is
her
the type of like a man that doesn't defend his girlfriend.
No, for
Like-
sure. Like, cause would you roll out the welcome mat to somebody who dissed
Hell
your girl? Who's
no.
like, fuck,
Hell
But
no.
this fool said,
honored.
I'm honored.
I'm honored. Wow.
When
Wow.
like he's dissed
he, like,
his,
teared up
his,
and
his
shit.
girlfriend or whatever. I
I
don't think he
know.
really likes Taylor Swift. It's all for clout.
For
It's been
sure.
obvious. Like it's all for clout.
that
Yeah.
made me think it really was for
Like
clout.
I don't think he likes her. I think he generally hates her and hated that she endorsed Kamala.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it's also the fact that Patrick Mahomes is married to somebody who's a Trump supporter,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's
don't-
weird. And they all hang out.
Patrick Mahomes is an interesting case because I feel like in videos he doesn't even seem like he likes her, and she for sure doesn't seem like she likes him.
Yeah.
Like, why are they even together?
Well, I don't understand.
It's like when she said when they did the couple thing,
and she was like
and
fried chicken.
fried chicken.
Oh,
and
yeah. She
then
started
he's like,
singing it? He was
yeah,
like,
he,
no.
she's
and
like,
that's crazy
she's
coming from a
like,
Trump supporter.
because he was like, because they're like, what's his favorite food? And she's like, fried chicken. And he's
I know.
like, no.
He's like, no. She's like, chicken fried steak. And then she says that, and he's like, what does he say? He's like, no, this is like hamburgers.
yeah, or something. I don't know.
He says it was like hamburgers.
Some shit.
Imagine, Julie, because especially because your man's his way. Imagine if he was if someone went up to Chris like, "What's Julie's favorite food?" Oh, probably like tacos, and like, what?
I was
She's
like,
saying it
what?
It's
too,
like-
though. That's like if Chris was like, tacos.
She says it with like a southern accent.
Yeah.
Or he's
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
burritos.
Oh, it's probably burritos.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And you're like,
she be wearing her
she's like,
sombrero.
she's like, it's wings.
it's wings from Wingstop.
Wings. No, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I don't understand how you can be like.
Probably nachos.
I don't know.
Bruh.
I don't understand how you can be friends with somebody, let alone in a relationship with somebody who's like that.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're a woman, right, and you're with a guy who's so anti-woman,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you know, to be like, I'm honored is insane. And then that guy directly dissed your girl.
Yeah.
I hate Taylor Swift.
In a weird, not to be like obviously crazy, but just like I really feel like as a man to not defend your girl for someone who like was very, what's the word? Visually? No. Publicly, like,
Yeah.
fuck Taylor Swift.
yeah.
I mean, like, damn, bro, that's your girl. Like, if, don't act like you didn't hear
He's
that.
a
Yeah.
bitch.
yeah.
Little dick energy.
Yeah. Real.
I just mean if that's your girl, stand by your girl, bro. No matter
Yeah.
what.
I hope they lose in embarrassing fashion.
It could have been
I
the
hope so,
fucking
too.
janitor saying that shit, and you should have stand on business.
Yeah.
Well, because it was, I think not only did he say that, but I think when all that happened, he kept saying, like, whatever the Mahomes wife is, he kept saying, like, oh, she's prettier. Like, she looks way better than, like, Taylor Swift or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Like,
Patrick
'cause-
Mahomes' wife says
Oh.
No, Trump
Trump
said
said
that Patrick Mahomes' wife is really pretty. And I think he was implying that Taylor Swift is not pretty because Taylor Swift hates him and Patrick Mahomes' wife loves Trump. I
Does
think he was
Taylor-
like trying to acknowledge.
I
that.
wonder
Let's
if
see, because they're probably gonna be in the same box, right?
I wonder if Taylor actually hates Trump. I wonder.
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
Probably not. I think it's all just because she knows the backlash that she would get if she
Like she was like, I low key fuck with Trump.
I low key.
I don't know. Will she even get backlash at this point? At this point, I either way that Sunday game. I wonder what's gonna be because this episode will be out.
No,
It looks like one of the most viewed.
I don't think he'll be in the same box as her. I think he's probably gonna have like a
his own separate
Is it-
area.
They'll probably have the fucking plane. What is it called? Air Force One just hovering.
The country will be divided, bro.
Over.
Because
Will it though?
yeah,
Will it?
well, because Philly, public, when they first went in, when Trump was in office, they refused to go to the White House, because Trump was president.
I hope they start singing "Fuck Donald Trump." I hope this invigorates the Philadelphia Eagles into
just starting their own chant.
No, into just their game, being like, you know what? It was personal already, but now that Trump's here,
I hope Philly is like very proudly like liberal, so that way I can see those memes that's like you just lost
to the
woke agenda.
Have you seen? Because Travis Kelce, I don't know why he tries to do. I always think it's cringe when these guys try to do like this deep shit where it's like, you know, if it was any president, I'd be proud. It's like, no, you wouldn't. If it was Kamala Harris who had won and she was there, he'd be like, well, I don't care. I promise you.
He'd be
you.
disrespectful.
I think Travis Kelce has always seemed like kind of like an airhead. So I think that him saying if it was any president in his
Oh, it's the concussions.
stupid mind, he thought he was saying like he was remaining neutral and being like not being pro Trump. He's like, if it was Obama, I would have been excited.
He would not have been excited. I promise.
But
you.
he said because he said if it was any president.
The team overall is just ass. Cause like, wasn't it that they also had that guy who did the speech at the graduation where he said women belong in the.
No, yeah, he said don't let these people tell you that, you know,
your place doesn't belong basically at home.
He said that it's a very fulfilling life for a woman to be a wife and a mother. Yeah, they're all.
That's their purpose.
Yeah,
but he said that was like basically their only.
Also, the coach is like super religious. He did that like, Jesus, Mary, Joseph is who we're playing for. You know, some shit like that. So.
I hope they don't win, damn. But who knows?
I really hope.
I don't know.
Who knows?
The refs have been.
This may shape
them.
the country based on.
I hope
who
they
wins.
lose in embarrassing fashion. I really do.
I hope Kendrick's concert is cool though.
Yeah, I hope Kendrick fucking to Trump.
She's gonna. Drake's probably gonna be watching, crying. Imagine Drake has a ticket.
Who's he having? He's possibly having SZA, maybe Tyler the Creator.
SZA, they for sure would be the type of group to be down.
I
and be
am
like,
surprised that the NFL being as corny and like pro Trump as it is, I'm surprised they didn't ask Taylor Swift to perform. Right?
Didn't she say? Wasn't there a time
where she was like, "I'm not down"?
She's like, "I'm not gonna do it" or some shit.
Really, I don't know, but I'm just surprised that they weren't like, "Hey, you want to perform?"
Yeah,
then so cheesy, right?
Because of her mans or whatever.
Yeah.
They're cringy, and I feel like they kind of deserve each other, low key.
Yeah,
she deserves the disrespect that she's getting from her man.
Yeah. Also with her fucking plane rides, that fucking produce more CO2 than a small town.
That could be its own whole ass podcast talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
but
Taylor Swift.
Moving on, who wants to do their segment first?
I thought we were gonna talk about. I guess I can go first. Actually, okay. Yeah. So I'm bringing back the segment. I think it went well last week.
The watch list, or have you come up with a new name?
I think I'm still workshopping
it.
Go ahead, introduce me, bro. Go ahead.
So, do any of you want to be on a watch list? Any of you interested in knowing things the government doesn't want you to know?
Yeah.
Well, I know just the guy you should talk to.
Wow, that's pretty good. Wow, thank you. So I think it's good, just based on what we were talking about, like the talking about why a lot of people shouldn't feel so much pride about the American flag, or at least America. So, did you know that American oppression towards indigenous and African Americans people inspired the Nazis? Yes, I know that sounds shocking.
Yeah, you said America was inspired Hitler?
Yeah, America inspired Hitler. Did you guys know that?
I did not.
In 1935, Germany passed two radically discriminatory pieces of legislation inspired by American laws. These were known as the Nuremberg Laws, and these laid the foundational work for, what would eventually become the Holocaust and prosecution of the Jews in World War II. And the Nazis were inspired specifically a lot by how America designated Native Americans and Filipinos and other groups as non-citizens, even if they were citizens or, like I said, native to the country. they're fascinated by the fact that America was able to pull off that like propaganda of they're actually not from here. So they use that in their Nuremberg laws to strip Jewish people of their German citizenship, and that's when they would classify them as nationals. And they would also use a lot of people may have heard that they used a lot of the Jim Crow laws towards black people as inspiration for some of their laws. The Jim Crow laws were actually extremely harsh towards interracial marriages. I think at the time it was something like 38 of the 50 states, or I forget completely, but a majority of the states had harsh laws against interracial marriages.
Yeah.
And they had these laws called one drop laws. So if you had any black ancestry, like period, you were considered a black person, and it would be a very serious crime for you to engage in an interracial marriage. So the Nazis used that because that would discourage people from marrying Jewish people, keep their Aryan blood, right, shit like that. So they use that as implications, right? They use that as inspiration, I should say. And it's interesting because I was reading this article, and the historian that was writing the piece, he mentions that the American version, the one drop rule, was more harsh than the Nazi one, because the Nazis would use what was called, or their way of going about it would be, if you had three Jewish grandparents, you were considered a Jew. Whereas in America, if you had just one drop of black blood or foreign blood, you were considered a minority. And that's crazy because they were so harsh about it in America.
Even the Nazis were like, "That's too far."
Yeah, because they I guess they
Isn't that
figured
crazy?
I guess they figured it would be impossible for them to implement it.
Yeah.
But fucking America, they were like, hell no. That's insane to me. That's why I think when people talk about like, oh, make America great again, or why people can't seem to fathom why there's people who have zero pride in the country, it's because of stuff like this, and it's never left, it's never, like we were talking about it earlier, the way people engage with minorities or people of color, this type of mentality is never left. It's insane to me. Like, I think people will try to gaslight you or brainwash you into believing that America was at some point this paradise when it wasn't, and it's not true. I was also reading about in this article that, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't until America joined the Second World War that it was kind of universally like, oh, the Nazis are bad. Before that, not really. Before America joined the war, a lot of people were very like okay with the Nazis. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Well, I mean, I think it goes to show you that where America takes its stance, like, is usually where people think it's like, oh, it's a good or bad. Like, obviously, if the United States took a stance that's pro-Native Americans, probably most textbooks and stuff would be like, oh, you see, like, Native Americans are cool, but for a long history of times, Native Americans are demonized.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's why it's so concerning when you hear in the news, and why we talk about it on here, that America is trying to find ways to deport Native Americans, because you see how that kind of rhetoric or that kind of action laid the framework for stuff like the Nazis.
Yeah.
So again, don't let people brainwash you into thinking like you're tripping, or that you're doing too much, or that you're exaggerating how dangerous this kind of stuff is. It's extremely dangerous. A lot of people, this kind of behavior, this kind of policies led to some really dark points in history. That's why I feel so strongly about when I was hearing about that they're trying to deport Native Americans, because again, like, to fucking where, and like also what we were talking about earlier, when people like were waving the flags, the Mexican flag, like you brought up such a good point. This was at one point Mexico.
Yeah.
What was it? California, Texas, like
there's all the lower states.
All
basically.
the lower states were all. This was all Mexico. Like the immigrants, like that they're deport you. A lot of like they're trying to make you feel as if you don't belong here.
Yeah.
But you do. This was once Mexico. Some people are citizens. It's like what would you call it? Like what did you call it? Like, it's a tactic that, of course, they want to make you seem like you're not from here. They want to make you seem like, that's why it's always Mexican Americans, or it's like you're an immigrant, even though people have been here for generations. People have been here for decades, contributing to society in ways that way more than most, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think it's important to know. I think people, that's why I personally am like, fuck the American flag. I don't understand why people are so up in arms about that, but
Yeah, because it's like what America has caused so many tragedies, especially if like your ancestry and your roots are deeply tied to the America's like disgraceful behavior and attitude towards your people. Like especially you know, you have Native American blood in you. Obviously, like why would you ever praise the American flag? The American flag, like you did a good point where you were like it represents genocide. It represents years and years of slavery. It represents everything that's wrong with the modern day political, I don't know, climate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like colonialism.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I'll close with this. You know, if you ever hear people say like "Make America Great Again," you could ask them, "When was America great? Was it great when they inspired the Nazis?" And then you could just leave it with that because it's probably what they're
They'll be like,
talking
oh,
yeah,
you know, that's pretty good.
What?
That
Yeah.
was pretty good.
They're gonna be like, wait, what?
They're gonna say, bro, that.
They're gonna be like, I didn't know that.
yeah, I know, right?
Well, now you know. I think your opinion can change based on new information. So,
Yeah, that's crazy though. Hitler really saw America and was like, they're doing it right.
but
you
they're
know?
doing it too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Mm.
take some steps back.
That's crazy though. They studied the Jim Crow laws, man. And they were like, that's how you do it.
Damn.
Makes sense though.
Like-
I mean, they were harsh. It makes you think about like when you see movies that took place in World War II, where it paints the Americans as the good guys. It's like, bro, right now in that time in the country, there's literally poor black kids being killed for myths. For have you heard it was so common for obviously women? I mean, this was the story of Emmett Till, but it was common for white women to come up with lies and blame it on the local black kids, and then the local black kids would be murdered by the neighborhood.
For sure, yeah.
Like it was super common. Like, and that's just what when you were talking, I was thinking about like Captain America, like the first Avenger, about how they paint like the Americans as like very anti-Nazi, but yet like if the scene were to have something of the Black Americans at the current state of
Yeah.
the country, you would have seen atrocities equal to that of the Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. Really good point. No, for sure. It's crazy.
Eye opening, but very, very good.
Yeah, no.
We for sure are gonna be on a watch list.
No, for sure. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
We're just telling history.
Have you seen
part of
that? Have you
history.
seen that woman who she works in a nursing home, and she's like, the amount of older people who confess to like
Mhm.
racial crimes is insane. Or there'll be like white people, like older white people who are basically on their deathbed, who will be like, you know, I lied about this, and it'll be like, you know, that I said a black person did this to me and they didn't do anything. That's insane. No, that's why you're 100% right.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Because I had heard about that phenomenon of a lot of elderly white people will, you know, confess to their crimes before they die. There was that story. Whether or not this is true, I guess you can take it with a grain of salt. But there was that story of there was an older white lady who she said that she kept having like hallucinations of a little black boy, like standing like in the corner looking at her. And obviously people theorize that it's because she obviously said a lie about a black boy that she admitted to, that the nurse said she admitted to, that caused for the local neighborhood to lynch and kill that boy. And so a lot of people said that she's haunted by her own demons, right? That that little boy is waiting for her to take her into the next life, right? So, I mean, and you know, sounds very mythological, but what's not mythological is the fact that a lot of lies led to a lot of black deaths.
Yeah.
Back when discrimination was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
So it is extremely trippy to know that America, the Make America Great Again, that era of that people are talking about, was apparently good enough to inspire Adolf, the biggest villain in history. So,
Yeah.
what part of America are you talking about to make America great again? Not to reiterate, not to mansplain.
No, that was a
Not to
beautiful. That was a
mansplain.
beautiful little bow.
Bo, yeah.
That was good.
But
That was good.
I guess I was.
Julie.
Oh, were you gonna
Oh,
do
no.
a pink pill, or I was gonna bring up the
No, you can bring it up.
trans.
You can bring it up.
Yeah. So at first I want to say that a world without trans people has never existed and it never will. Don't let people try and brainwash you again and tell you that trans people or gender fluid people or anybody in the LGBTQ community is out of place. They've always existed throughout history. It's really just like, it's a myth that people try to tell you that it's like a fad or that it's randomly showing up now. That's not true. There's evidence for trans people Like you've talked
Even
about
indigenous
communities, the two spirits, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's Polynesian communities, there's in African communities all over the world. So don't believe that.
The Mishas, I think Mixes. I'm mispronouncing them, but I talked about them too once.
But I just wanted to bring that up because I think there's a lot of there is a lot of anti-trans bills being presented right now. I know at the time of this recording, Donald Trump signed an executive order that would ban trans athletes from competing in sports. And that's horrific and horrible. You know, obviously we don't agree with that, but what were you going to say, Julie? I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Oh, no. But yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on that, guys? I think that's...
I mean, obviously it's horrid.
Yeah.
I almost don't feel like I need to make a statement. Obviously,
For sure.
obviously it's horrible.
It's just, I guess it's always just sad because it's like, I guess for me, it's more of like, I don't understand why people don't understand that they're human beings, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Because I'm like, I get that maybe they look like different, but I'm also, I guess because to me, like, I'm like, they don't look any different than anybody else. And I feel like I don't get how people don't see them as like another set of, community that should be protected. But I think it's because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I always lived through those like judgments and like not being seen and not being heard, especially as a brown woman, that I feel like I understand what they're kind of growing through of like not being seen as human. Because I mean, women have always through history have been seen as, the subhuman, or like we didn't have rights. We couldn't vote. We couldn't open bank accounts for like a long time. Like we couldn't live on our own. And I feel like for me, I guess it's always like, I don't understand how people have so much hatred for this group and have like so much disrespect for them. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't know, I guess because it's like the other area of myself where I'm like, someday I'll be a mom maybe. Yeah. And like my children probably someday are like gonna live in this world where it's like they feel judged. And I don't ever want that to happen. Because I don't know, I just feel like I see people as like kids. Yeah. Like I still see them as vulnerable. And I feel like people judging them and like wanting to cause harm to them and like all these things is just like, I can't comprehend why it's seen that way. Yeah, well,
kind of touching on both of what you guys just said, you don't need to know a trans person in order to empathize with the trans community. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, like you said, you're going to have kids one day. Your kids could be trans. Like it exists. It's a real thing. Like it's like, trans people exist. Like people out there who are like, this doesn't affect me. Why do I care? Yeah. Your kids could be trans. And then you have you've built a world where they're not accepted. Like you don't need to know a trans person in order to empathize with the trans person. But you're acting as if this is just like, it's new. The people are just encouraging people to just apparently, I don't know, whatever. I don't even want to repeat the transphobia rhetoric that's out there. Yeah. But this does affect you. And even if it doesn't, have some human decency to understand that it affects even the far branches of circles that are not within you. Mm-hmm. Like I get what you mean though, that it's hard to understand why people dehumanize them. I think the biggest thing is that people are scared of having their own identity challenged. Because I feel as though we've seen, a lot of homophobia, a lot of transphobia comes from unresolved identity issues that I think people refuse to address within themselves. Like if gender fluidity and sexuality is, fully tolerant and accepted, I think a lot of people are afraid that somehow that's going to influence themselves. Mm-hmm. And they're going to one day, I guess, wake up and be like part of the LGBTQ community. I think in a weird way, I think they're afraid of their own identity being challenged, which is just a selfish way of thinking and an extremely homophobic and transphobic way of going about issues that affect real people's lives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I also I don't understand how people can't understand the gender exists on a spectrum, because I think people participate in it every day. Like even if you swear you're like on the opposite end of that spectrum, like if I'm a super masculine male and I don't exist on a spectrum. Yes, you do. Like there's actions that people take that they feel affirms their gender identity, right? where if you feel super masculine, like, no, I'm going to get ripped. That makes me feel more masculine. I'm going to wear this type of clothes because that makes me feel more masculine. I'm going to buzz my hair because that makes me feel more masculine. Those are things that you're taking steps to affirm your gender, right?
Yeah.
That's why when people talk about like, oh, it doesn't exist on the spectrum, but I feel like you participate in it and you do things that do affirm what you believe is your gender, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand that mentality. I also don't understand the whole like wanting to protect children. Like at least on the other side where they're like, oh well, our stance is to protect children. Like we want to protect children. Like I don't, because you saw, oh my god, bro.
You got a stat for me?
I want to call her out because fuck this bitch. The South Carolina representative Nancy Mace repeatedly used transgender slurs during a House oversight hearing. If you've seen the video, it's insane. She says it multiple times. She gets called out on it, and she doubles, triples, quadruples down on it. And she says, saying you want penises, she says, you're saying you want penises in women's bathrooms, and she won't stand for it, which is then when she proceeds to say all these slurs. If your stance is to protect women, then how can you support Donald Trump, who since the 1970s at least who's at least had 26 women have publicly accused Donald Trump of rape, kissing and groping without consent, looking under women's skirt, and walking in on naked teenage pageant contestants. You know, if your motivation is, oh, I'm going to protect women. No, you're not. The guy in office, you know, did you know his ex-wife, Ivanka Trump, who passed away, she accused him of rape. She said that he raped her in a fit of rage. You know, so what do you mean you're protecting women? Like when this guy wants to strip women of their rights, of their bodily functions, you know, because abortions are going to happen whether they're illegal or not. Legalizing abortion makes it safe. You know, people are going to lose their lives. You know, like, I don't know, like, what's the implication here? That trans people are after women or after women? Because I know a guy who's after women who doesn't care about women, and you guys help put him in office.
Yeah.
You know? And then when it comes to like all the religious standpoint and protecting kids, the fucking Catholic Church is some of the most one of the most predatory groups ever. Like we talked about it. Did you know in 70 years, over 300,000 child abuse? It seems like there's been over 300,000 child abuse cases in the French Catholic Church. 300,000 kids. That's an insane statistic. If there's anybody who's in a dress, it's a priest that's gonna fucking attack your kid. You know, that's insane. Like that I'm just bringing all this up because what they're trying to feed you about safety for children or women isn't true. Because these are the people who are actively working to imply or to make it more dangerous for those groups. You know, I don't know.
No, good point. Good point, bro.
I feel like that was great because I feel like it's very telling on like who the people are, especially in office. Yeah. And like what they care about and what they don't care about. Yeah. Because it's, I guess in that and like having that comparison, right? It's like, then what is it really for? Like, what is it really about? You're just being transphobic then. Yeah. Because it's like, if you really were for women, then you would be fighting against the man who's in office. Yeah. But it's not. It's just that it just bothers you and it makes you uncomfortable. Yeah. That there's like transgender women who want to enter in these spaces. Yeah. And I think it just makes you uncomfortable. Like you're just being homophobic, transphobic, all those things. Like you don't really care about women and their safety. Yeah, for sure. Or like if you cared about kids, right? You would do something about guns. Yeah. Or you wouldn't say like that one guy who was like, meals at school shouldn't be free. Like kids should work for their meals. They're just freeloaders.
That's crazy, bro.
Like they're kids.
They're kids. like they sit here being like
what capitalism does to a motherfucker.
Yeah, you know, fucking insane, man. But
it's just I guess it's just.
Bro, I wouldn't even be surprised if the administration that's in office right now tried to like repeal the, you know how kids used to work in the mines and shit. Oh, like I wouldn't even be surprised if they lowered the legal age that you can work. Yeah. And we're like, oh, it's 8 years old now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. It's just, I think the executive order that he signed, which is like banning trans women from women's sports, I just feel like that, I mean, there's a lot of things, right, that he's done, he said, a lot of other people have done and said. But I think this also being another part of it, of like, of, you know, trans women trying to enter in these spaces and they're not being accepted. Yeah. And I think it's just sad because it's like, you know, everybody has dreams of like doing sports, doing, you know, movies, doing all these things. and it's just like having that sort of being like ripped away from you. I think it's just very saddening.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
also research has been done on trans athletes, and it's shown that most people who are trans women are actually at a disadvantage when competing in athletic sports. So that whole propaganda bullshit story of like, oh, they clearly have an advantage because I really don't want to repeat the fucking transphobic rhetoric, but for whatever they say, it's not true. Most women deal with I think it's called bone deterioration because of the estrogen that they get put on. So they're actually at a disadvantage. So if they are winning a competitive sport, they work their ass off to actually win that sport.
Yeah. And I think also because in the article that I was reading, it kind of took back to, remember in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
When-
course.
The boxer.
Yeah, when the boxer was being judged for that, and it wasn't even like that she
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I just think it's just like, I don't know. It's just so sad about like the disrespect that women go through, and
For
especially
sure.
trans women are currently going through, and just like the whole community, especially like kids, because there's that whole thing of like in schools about like even teachers kind of have to like, I think, tell now like
Yeah.
if their kid is
Mhm.
asking to be,
Referred to as a specific name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
I think right now it's not in California, or I think
Mhm.
they passed a law where they can't, or they're the
Do that, yeah.
they can't tell. But
Mhm.
that's also like another thing. Like I think some parents are extremely anti-LGBT,
Mhm.
you know, and in a lot of ways, schools are their safest area where they get consistent meals or where they have adults that they can trust.
Yeah.
So I think stripping people of that you know, right to their privacy or their gender affirmation is actually extremely dangerous. You
Mhm.
know, like considering all the treatment that trans people get, you know, if you're really pro child or pro safety for children, you would understand very quickly why that's a bad idea. But
Yeah.
you know, obviously they don't care. It's just about creating them to be like this marginalized group that gets blamed for everything, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. It sucks. But like you said, I guess going back to the sports too, I mean, we've talked about it before where I don't understand the whole like because I didn't know that. That was a great point that you made. But also sports in general are kind of the advantages and disadvantages of people like are up in the air. I've always
It's
felt
very
like
subjective, like you
but
said, right?
Yeah.
Look at Anthony Davis, 7'3". Is it fair that he's playing on the?
Yeah, you know, like I was just gonna say, like I always felt like the advantages and disadvantages that you have are what make the sport interesting.
Mhm.
Like Victor Wembanyama is 7'4", you know,
7'5", bro.
like fucking Chris Paul is like 6 feet, or like there's people in the league who are 5'8". What the fuck is he supposed to do? You know, that's what makes it fun and interesting, right?
Mhm.
You have to think of interesting ways to combat his advantage, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. I think that's dumb when people say that. That's why I really hate Undertaker for why he had Trump on his show and he
Mhm.
was like, you know, I don't want my daughter fighting again.
You know what's crazy? I guess speaking of Undertaker, did you see that clip? They asked him about Hulk Hogan getting booed,
Yeah.
and did you see it?
Yeah.
And he's like, "All happy." I'm like, "Bro, he
You're
got
the
booed because of the political thing." And Undertaker's like, "Ah, you know, you get what you deserve."
You know, I was like, bro, I feel like
He's
like,
getting booed because of the whatever.
I feel like he's the same dude, basically.
But I'm like, how does he not see? Like, he's like
Yeah.
all smiles that Hulk Hogan got booed.
I guess all the hits to the head just
yeah.
True.
Made him dumb.
Also, fucking hasn't Undertaker had like 15,000 matches with like a woman? He fucking. It's in wrestling. They have women versus men matches. What is he talking about?
I guess he hates women
Yeah, he probably does.
deep down.
For sure. For sure.
He loved doing that. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
He's like, I wish I could hit her hard.
I know. No, but yeah, I mean, just I guess to reiterate, you know, stand with trans people, protect trans kids, and
Mhm.
like we said, trans people will always exist.
Mhm.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And
So-
Julie, take us home, Julie.
Your
What is
pink-
your pink pill of the week?
Pink pill.
I have so many pink pills in me. They might as well call me Pepto Bismol.
Not
No?
bad. Not
Okay.
bad.
Not bad, right?
Not bad.
That one was not
That
bad.
was not bad.
I think that needs some work.
Yeah.
But
Workshop it a little.
yeah, I think there's a better phrase in there.
All right. So, have you guys ever heard of the gender pain exaggeration bias?
No.
Sounds familiar, actually. Maybe.
So, it refers to the tendency to perceive women as exaggerating their pain more than men, often due to stereotypes that women are more emotionally expressive, leading to healthcare professionals discounting their pain complaints. Examples include a doctor dismissing a woman's menstrual cramps as just a period, or assuming a woman is being dramatic when reporting severe pain, even when presenting similar symptoms to a man.
Damn.
So a study in August 2024 revealed that doctors treat men and women differently when it comes to pain. Women are 10% less likely than men to have their pain level assessed when they arrive at the hospital, the study found. Women also wait around half an hour longer than men to be seen by a doctor and are less likely to be given pain medication.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
So women are viewed as exaggerating and hysterical, and men are viewed as more stoic when they complain of pain. In 2019, a study of almost 7 million people in Denmark found that women were diagnosed when they were 4 years older than men for hundreds of different health conditions. Diagnosis for diabetes come 4.5 years later, while cancer was diagnosed in women when they were an average 2.5 years older. And the reason for like everything is that medicine has functioned on the assumption that male bodies can represent humanity as a whole. So a lot of experimentation on like drugs, and just like findings, like there's a lot of, it's always usually, they used to say it's always male mice or male like human who are testing like all the drugs and stuff. So it wasn't until 1993 that the FDA in the US lifted the ban on women participating in clinical trials.
There was a ban?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't know that.
There was a ban, and it wasn't until 1993 that they took it off.
Fuck?
That's crazy.
Why would they ban it? Like, I mean, I obviously because they're fucking assholes, but like, but even like
Logically, right? Well, I was thinking, literally, as my sister was talking, I was thinking about how sexism doesn't make any sense. Because I'm like, wait. So you're saying that women are giving less like attention and care about like their symptoms and stuff, but I thought like machismo and sexism bullshit is like men are so tough. Wouldn't it make more sense that the men get less of like the attention?
Or it's supposed to be like we're supposed to treat women like queens, right? And like,
that's why exactly.
You
that's
know?
why I'm like it doesn't even make sense.
But they're literally like, you'll be fucking fine.
Yeah, they're basically saying, you know how there's always been the rhetoric of like women are just emotional, they're dramatic, they exaggerate. So when women actually present themselves as in pain, they're just saying you're just exaggerating. You're being dramatic. Like you're actually not feeling that pain. Like it's not that bad as you say it is.
But like if a man was to do it, they're like, oh, he's a man. If he's
like,
hurt, he must be really hurting. If he's in here.
You know what's interesting? This story has nothing to do with like me trying to disprove anything. Yeah. It's just a funny thing that relates. So like I had mentioned, I've been sick for a while. So I got my girlfriend sick, and so we had the same thing. And so we went to the same exact urgent care, and we got seen by the same exact doctor. When the doctor saw me, he didn't give me antibiotics or anything. Like, he was just basically like, good luck, bro. But when he saw my girlfriend, she got like a fuck ton of meds. And what did he say fuck me for? So I was like, that must be a sexist doctor.
Well, I mean,
actually, is he doing the opposite?
I mean, it feeds into the gender bias, I guess, because it's
right.
Like, it's maybe the opposite.
Yeah.
It's not disproving
but
anything. It's still
sexist,
proving
right?
that it's still like a little sexist. Maybe.
Yeah. Because we got the exact same thing, dude. That actually happened. That was a real thing. I remember even my dad was like, how come they didn't give you shit? And I was like, I don't know. I guess he hates me or something.
Maybe it was a racist thing.
He was Asian.
Oh, well, he can still be racist.
I guess so. But I've thought like
she's lighter than you.
She's lighter than you. Maybe
she's smaller than you.
Maybe he is. Yeah. Maybe he was like
she's white passing a little.
You know. No, but I mean, I've heard that before too, where people will, where I've seen pregnant people talk about how sometimes they're in the what do you call it, the emergency room, and they're like the advice is like, oh, tell your husbands to advocate for you, right? Because sometimes they'll be saying like, oh, I'm in a lot of pain, and they'll be like, well, duh. But then
you're pregnant.
Yeah, but then but then like if the man is to go and fucking like be like, yo, my wife's in pain, they're like, oh, really? You know? So,
like dropping their clipboard and shit.
You know, it sucks. It sucks that there's like a medical bias because you want you want to get like the best attention and hope that they're responsible. But it's happened. Like, you know, we've talked about it before where some fucking psycho used to spread the rhetoric of black women didn't feel pain, so they wouldn't give you know, and that's still around. Did you know
that is still
still around? You know, RFK. Did you see he kind of believes that shit? Where he said that black people shouldn't get vaccines, or they need to have a different vaccine because they have a different biological makeup. And
Bro, that's crazy.
yeah, that's like eugenics.
And he said that when they were doing the like interview.
He's like, well,
thing,
the information is, I'm just quoting what the study says.
Well, he's there in the hearing where they're basically like grilling him. They're like, "Did you or did you not say this?" And he's like, "Well, and he did say it. He did say it. There's like video in 4K.
The study shows. Yeah, I'm just reading what the study shows.
That it's still around because that guy's in charge now. You know. So when people tell
that's
you,
scary, bro.
Yeah.
It is scary. Yeah.
No, it is. I mean, it's a lot of things that I think
about. What's that about? I just don't get the world. Like, I don't get the administration, bro. Yeah. Like, why just come up with lies, bro? Just bullshit.
For sure.
No, I know why. It's deep. It's probably a whole podcast in and of itself.
No,
but
for sure. But that happens to women a lot. Like I've only heard it mostly in like the pregnancy stratosphere, where I've heard a lot of horror stories about how like the doctors didn't take them seriously, or like they went against their wishes, or they were giving them bad advice and stuff like that. And that sounds like a fucking nightmare because you know there's a child at stake too. You know.
Mm-hmm. But in what I was researching, it's not just about pregnancy, you know, like that sure. it happens. So other areas that it happens in is in October 2024, research from the British Cardiovascular Society found women are still being underdiagnosed or undertreated for cardiovascular disease. Despite CVD being the leading cause of death in women, there is a persistent misconception that it's a man disease, which has contributed to its under-recognition and under-treatment, the census document said.
That's crazy. You know, that's crazy because I feel like I did kind of get that vibe, that it was more like affecting towards men, like cardiovascular diseases. Like, genuinely, I feel like whenever I see the commercials or when they promote the Honey Nut Cheerios are good for your heart, it's always a dude. Yeah. So I always kind of just thought it was
I did always kind of assume that was like
because I know I also grew up with that because they also say that, like, men are always kind of, like, working a lot, and because usually they're usually angry a lot, so it harms their, like, heart.
Yeah, they're usually angry a lot.
But I don't know how that correlates, but that's just, like, the rhetoric that I've kind of always
That's the number one cause of death in women?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's the leading cause of death in women.
Wow.
And then previous research also found that women were 50% more likely than men to get an incorrect diagnosis following a heart attack.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah, because sometimes they were saying that sometimes it's more, they're just saying that they're just like, they just have anxiety.
That's so
like,
sad,
they're like,
bro.
you just have anxiety. Wow. I think that's just all it is. Like, because a lot of the symptoms, I guess, that when women describe like their symptoms, they correlate them, or they like pick them as being something else.
They try to make it emotional.
Yeah, they try to make it like it's like something else. Like, it's not really like what you're saying.
It's not a real problem.
Yeah. And then it also was saying that even for like autism, women either are like not misdiagnosed or not actually ever diagnosed on having autism or ADHD.
Wow.
So those are like other stuff. And then autoimmune conditions. Women account to the majority of people, 80% with autoimmune disease. But it takes an average of 5 years for them to get diagnosed, according to the American Autoimmune Association.
That's scary. Mm-hmm. That's scary because like 5 years is a huge difference. Like to be diagnosed for something like that, that could be like, that's insane. Well, because I was also seeing this I don't know if we talked about it on here, but I saw it on TikTok where they talk about how women are less likely to get CPR. Because of their breasts.
Yeah.
But they were talking about it's not because the breast changed the like how CPR works. Yeah. It's just that the test dummy, like that you do CPR on, doesn't. It's based on a male physique.
Yeah.
So people are genuinely trained.
Oh, they
on
get
that.
like confused.
Yeah. Well, so people will be unwilling to like
do it.
I only train on like a dude, so I don't know.
I get you. Yeah.
Or
Or they're just uncomfortable.
or they're
to,
just
do it.
uncomfortable. But people were talking about how it's ironic because
It's life or death, bro. Fucking
well, because
comfortability.
they were saying it's ironic because the CPR like dummy is based on a woman. Like the face of the mask is a woman. I think it's called
Wow.
CPR Sally or something. Too.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. But it goes
But
to
it
show
does
you-
usually have a
male-
dad bod.
a dad
Dad
bod.
bod.
It has a male body.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Dad bod.
I was seeing, and I remember I saw this doctor or nurse or somebody who works in
Mhm.
medical field talk about how like in their like 15 years of medicine they've only ever practiced on one
Yeah, I saw that too.
woman feminine body of
Of
dummy.
CPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like shit's like that's important,
It is important.
Yeah.
It's also scary.
Yeah. And then one last one about chronic pain. So 70% of people are impacted by chronic pain are women. And yet 80% of pain studies are conducted on male mice and human men.
Why the male mice? Does that I don't understand how it carries over to animals.
I do wonder. I guess that's like a whole segment in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they say that
Because it's probably deep.
yeah, they said that it's found that women live longer than men, but spend most of their lives in poor health.
Oh,
Damn.
that's horrible.
Is
That's
it even
horrible.
living at that point?
That's horrible. No,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's crazy, man. Man, you hear about all the time, like with the husband stitch and shit like that.
Yeah.
You heard of that?
Yeah, I think this is just another area of why women should be in, health and like science.
Women in STEM.
Because, they have to advocate for the women that, need these type of treatments.
For sure. And that's why I think like it's deep because and it's timely right now because especially with DEI rolled back,
Mhm.
like all that propaganda of like, oh, they're unqualified. They are qualified. It's more about casting a broader net.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to have women or people of color in these spaces because you could have a woman in that field say, hey, what the fuck? Why aren't we treating women like in equally?
Yeah.
Or you could have a person of color, like a black person, be like, yes, black people feel pain. What the fuck are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah.
That's why it's important. But when you roll back like all these things and you just basically assume like, oh, well, white men know everything.
Yeah.
It's very clear that they don't. And that's how it leads to shit like this. So great segment. I love that.
Yeah, that was good, Julie. That was really good. Very educational.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that I didn't know.
Yeah. I genuinely, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
But I know it now and I'll never shut up about it.
Yeah. Nice pink pill. That one went down. Brother, that one go down soft or rough? Was that smooth?
For me, it was smooth. But for a lot of y'all out there,
For a lot of y'all.
for a lot of
Not
y'all,
our audience. Our audience is really
advocate
cool.
for your girls. Don't be
Yeah.
like Travis Kelce who doesn't defend his girls.
Hell yeah.
Damn,
Hell yeah.
the cycle continues.
Hell yeah. But
We're
before
so good at tying in.
Before
Yeah,
we,
sorry.
we end up the episode, I got to do a shout out to all of our patrons. Shout out to Yoel, Jada Chicano, Eli Quintero, I Am Potato Tots, Stephen Carbajal, Carla Corazon, El Verdugo de Pasadena, and now Altadena will rebuild. Yes, it will. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. If anybody else ever wants to join the Patreon, our Patreon is always in the description. We've got a lot of great content on there. We're always going to be adding more. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
See you guys. Have a good day.